Welcome to World of Marketing Podcast, a Foster Web Marketing production. Here's your host, Tom Foster.
Hey everybody, it's Tom Foster in the World of Marketing. And today my guest is my buddy Kevin McManus of Kansas City, Missouri. Is that
Missouri.
How you say it?
That's right.
Missouri.
Well, if you're in Kansas City or St. Louis, it's Missouri. If you're in the middle of the state,
it's Missouri?
It's Missouri.
So if you say Missouri, people are like, oh, you're good?
Yes. And if you're the governor of Missouri or Missouri, you should probably know when to say which.
Oh, you got to say it depending the right way.
I'm just saying, yeah. There's a whole history there to that.
What is the history?
In your first little quip, you've already identified a marketing issue, right?
Oh,
it's
there
like
you go.
It's like you got to know your audience, and so Missouri that's a city way of saying the state. So for all your viewers at home, anybody who cares, if you're in Kansas City, Missouri.
I always like saying Missouri.
Missouri,
because I feel like that's more like how the real people say it.
It is.
Right?
It's better than misery, which I've heard from time to time. So it just depends on who your audience is.
So you've been practicing law there for how long?
So I graduated from law school in 2006. I took a couple years off after college. I actually lived in D.C., in the D.C. area.
Very good.
And then I moved back home, went to St. Louis University Law School, actually not in my hometown, but in the state, and then went back to Kansas City where I grew up.
Why did you want to become a lawyer?
My dad was a lawyer. He did a lot of different kinds of stuff. You know, he was on the defense side at a large law firm. He ended up moving to the plaintiff side. Really, I just liked the idea of helping people. And I don't know, that's really what drove him into the profession. And I know that sounds kind of corny, but at its essence, that's really what I enjoy doing. And that's why I actually like doing what I'm doing now, which is primarily plaintiff's work, PI, and now kind of diving in a little bit into the ERISA disability world.
Have you always done the PI or?
No, actually, I kind of fell into that. So I started off right out of law school. You go to where the job is, and I got a job at a large law firm doing commercial litigation defense work, and then I ended up, while I enjoyed some of the work and the experience, I ended up running for the state legislature when I was 30 years old. And everybody told me not to do it, and I did it anyway. And I had just gotten married, and my wife didn't know any better. And so she let me do it, and I won. So I ended up being in the legislature for 5 years, continuing to practice law. And I slowly kind of gravitated to the PI world, to that plaintiff's life, because it allowed me to select my cases and kind of have more control over my life and kind of my professional career. Because I did not want to give up the practice of law while I was doing all that.
Yeah, of course not. We got people walking to our podcast. Cool. Yeah, whatever. Hey, we got to be cool with that, right?
I'm
kind
good
of like
with
a
it.
newsroom.
We've got a lot of people out there.
There's a lot of people.
This is a big event.
We're here at GLM, right?
Yeah.
GLM 2019.
That's right.
For those that are keeping track. So how long have you been part of GLM?
So this is actually my second GLM summit,
Right.
but I haven't been actually a GLM member for even 2 years. It's been about a year and some change, like year and a half or so. Yeah.
And so have you learned anything from these events?
Yeah. It's been drinking from the fire hose, and it's been nonstop, and it's been great. It's how I connected with you, and it's just been a great experience. I mean, kind of going back to what we were talking about before, I think the thing that makes GLM awesome for lawyers and people like me is it gives you the ability to have some, I think, control over what you want to do in your life. It really focuses you, like what kind of clients do you want?
Yeah.
And then how do you go get them?
Yeah, and they teach, that's one great thing about Ben, is that he always shares everything that he's been through, right, wrong, or indifferent. He's going to tell you what worked and what didn't work, and he's great like that. He's always been like that.
Yeah.
So what are some of the biggest things that you've taken away from these events that you've implemented to success?
I mean, there's so much. I would start with the mindset. I mean, and, when I first met you, Tom, one of the first things you did, which I still have them, nearby, I always think about are the books you gave me, right? Ben introduces you to kind of the way you think, right, about some great authors and success literature, and just thinking about how can you design the life you want to live. Mm-hmm. And I think that philosophy is just something that really attracted to me. Like, I wanted to be able to be in control, not be the lowly associate, just taking the terrible cases that are handed to you, but actually trying to figure out and seek out the clients that you really wanted to help. And so from there, then it takes you through the strategies and the tactics to get you there. And that's the part. That's the hard part. That's the work, right?
Yeah.
And as you know, in the online world, it's a lot of work. But it's a lot easier to go down that path if you know where you're headed and you know kind of what pitfalls to avoid and kind of just what the road looks like. So
It gets easier, right?
For sure.
Like as you start to implement, you get into more of a routine, and you're a good writer. I mean, you allocate the time and do it. Right.
I like writing.
Yeah.
And that's why I like DSS, because it lets you produce the content you want to produce. And so you have control, right? But it also gives you the opportunity to create an asset. So you're not just out there doing the pay-per-click stuff that is apparently more and more prevalent, obviously. I've never gone that route. I'm not saying I never will, but I love creating permanency, right? And, through the web, seems like nothing's permanent. But what is when you create quality content. I mean, that's out there for as long as you want it to be out there.
That's right, under your brand.
Yep.
Not going anywhere else. It's not going to be outbid. I mean, especially if you're sharing that content to your list, which we've talked about many times, is like those people on your list that know you and love you, your past clients, your friends, your family, your constituents.
Right, that's right.
All those people that know you, they're going to choose you.
Right.
And the more that you remind them of you by parading your content in front of them, that's really the key. So you're also in the political world.
Yeah.
So, and you just told me a little while ago. Now you have been. Is that elected, or were you just?
I have a new job. I don't know if you could call it the demotion. I don't know exactly. I had I moved, transitioned from the state legislature in 2015. I did 2015 it was when I transitioned to the city council. I ran for the city council in Kansas City because I wanted to be home. I started having kids, and my wife was like, "Get home."
You got two little kids, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So, and I love Kansas City. It was an opportunity to give back and kind of be home. And it's nonpartisan. I represent, the city's, 500,000 people in the central city, 2 million in the broader MSA, the area. It's the largest city in the state of Missouri, about a $1.7 billion budget. So it's like a substantial commitment being on the council. But I just recently was reappointed. I was reelected and then appointed by the new mayor to be mayor pro tem, which we were joking about. What the hell is mayor pro tem?
Mayor pro tem.
Right.
That's a Latin.
It is. So it means temporary.
Yeah,
so
temporary mayor.
So when he's not there, I fill in. You're
a mayor temp.
Right. So, and I kind of help the administration of the council and that sort of thing. But there's some official duties.
I started asking you this, and I don't think I heard the end of it, but how do you do that? How do you manage a busy law practice? Because it's you, right?
Yeah.
You have
I'm fortunate. I practice with another group of attorneys, and I share their staff.
Okay.
And so we have a couple paralegals, I think two, and then one's kind of paralegal / office manager. Then we have, other associate attorneys that I can utilize on cases, and also I co-counsel a lot of cases when needed. But with actually your help, we've really been able to grow. And so the key for me is getting the best cases and keeping those, and then figuring out the way to maximize the value of the ones for folks that, I might need help on. And so it's allowed me to develop a lot of relationships with other attorneys in the city, which is pretty cool because they now know that I am out there, whether it's in politics or in the city council role, or just in the legal world. And so there is an intersection there, right? Like talking about brand, there's an intersection of just people who know you, right? And everybody has that. I mean,
everybody
doesn't matter who you are. You don't have to be on the city council to do it. In fact, it's probably better if you're not, because you don't get calls about trash and whatever else I get calls about, which I love, Yeah.
Everybody that's listening,
we will pick up your trash.
Great city of Kansas City.
But I have staff at the city, so they help me, and then I also have a lot of help at the law firm. So you can't do everything, but you do just have to work a lot. I mean, the best thing though is if you like your job, it's not that big a deal. I mean,
you like helping people.
I do.
And both those things do that, right?
Right.
So that scratches that itch.
Yep.
And your wife is, I assume, supportive.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah. Of course she is.
She's totally supportive. Actually, loves the fact that I'm out here, and because she's like, figure out how to make more money. I mean, that's really
exactly.
The city council thing. That's not the focus, right? It's about giving back. I say if you want to make money, public service is probably not the world to be in. But if you want to feel like you're part of a community and have kind of, I think, just a rich, life with a lot of people in it, it's been awesome.
You're right. I mean, like you should get into public service for the very fact of being a public servant. That should be your main motivation. Right. But just like you said,
you have to pay the bills.
But it also helps your business.
Yeah.
As an attorney, it's your brand, and it gets your brand out there very well, and you're planting seeds, and that's a great fertilizer. Being in public office, not that because your name, and that's what you were just kind of talking about. No one can compete with your name, your brand. That's your brand as a lawyer, and no one really, unless you have the same name, like as other people that you might compete, and maybe you do. Do you compete with some other people? Don't you have a popular name? Some people do. It's hilarious.
No. There's a strange thing to my name. There are other lawyers with my name.
Yeah. Okay. So sometimes that happens.
Cities. Yep.
Right. But ultimately, I mean, and by the way, the public service will elevate you above those guys that don't have that. And as long as you, as we talked about before, take advantage of those links that are made available to you from these government-based websites, which generally have higher scoring, trust flow than other websites, that can benefit you.
Yeah.
So
no, it does. I mean, I think just
not that that's why you're doing it.
No,
I don't want anybody thinking that. That's why Kevin's doing this.
But the community stuff. I mean, you talk about community marketing all the time, and you told me that one of our first calls, you're like, you know what the most important thing you can do, Kevin, is go to your kids' soccer games.
Yeah.
And I still
live your life.
Do that, and it's talking to people.
Yeah.
It's just being present in the community and just like not being afraid to say hi to people, just complete strangers, and telling them,
people buy from people they like.
Right.
And obviously that's what, as a politician, you're out there doing that anyway. You got to be doing that. And
right.
So, I mean, like connecting the dots. Yes, I'm a lawyer.
Right.
They're going to want to call you anyway. You're doing them as service. And that's the thing is that, because they're going to need you.
Right.
And that remember, you're helping people, one, through your government service, but you're also helping people that are involved in a terrible tragedy that they've never experienced before, and they have no idea what's coming down the pike. So I think it's all good. And just connecting the dots is a great thing to do.
Yeah.
And so everybody that's on your, everybody that knows you comes to your website.
Right.
Whether, if you get an offer going or whatever, fill out your contact forms. Now that they're on your list. Maybe they met you at a fundraiser. Maybe they met you at some event where you're just doing a town hall or something like that. But they're going to remember you. And if you're like, yes, I'm an attorney here in town, I do personal injury.
Right.
And but you make it about whatever it is. But those people will remember you.
It's about relationships. Yeah. I mean, just, same thing I'm sure with your business. It's why you want to stay in touch with your clients even after their case is done, because if you do that, they're going to be remembering who you are first off, which a lot of them I find out maybe don't even after a short time.
Of course not.
Because people have lives.
Yeah.
But if you keep in touch with people and let them know that you genuinely care about them and their family, I've gotten referrals that way, and it's just because they just remember you. It's just, hey, and it may not be in my practice area, but it's an opportunity, again, A, to help somebody, but also B, connect them with somebody else in the community who can help them.
It's something as simple as just you're right, connecting handwritten notes. You sent me a handwritten note.
Yep. I'm a big handwritten note person.
See, that's so good. That's like a forgotten art.
Right.
And that's marketing, gang. I mean, that's a super powerful way to market yourself. It's not something that you can just set up on autopilot, because you actually have to sit down and authentically write a note. genuine note.
Someone told me that you can now do this through apps or whatever.
Yeah,
I haven't
sure
done
you
that. I haven't done that yet, but whatever
What's
you
the name
use,
of it? It's called Bond.
Is that what it is?
There's an app.
It
called
sounds cool.
Bond. And you do you do it, but they just it just makes it look like you handwrote it. So you're just writing it, and then they send it out for you and everything. It whatever. I've heard people that use it, and I know people that use it, and it's fine. But I still, any step away from authenticity is also a step away from conversion. How do I say that?
No, that's right. To making the sale, to closing it. It reminds me.
You're just going to do less.
The first time I ever ran for office, I didn't have any money to do it, and we just went door to door, and we met with people at their doors over and over and over again.
But you learned a lot from that.
Oh my God! But this is serious marketing skills, because what we did was election may be months away, because you only have you can only do so many in a day, so you have to start so far out. So we did a newsletter to stay in touch with people. We did postcards with handwritten notes. I loved your geraniums. Enjoyed meeting you and your dog Copper. Yeah. Really, and this isn't stuff you can make up,
That's good.
But when I was staying at the polls that day, this is like 10 years ago, I still remember people still come up to me and they say, I remember you from when you came to my door. You gave me a free coffee mug. We talked about my dog. I still have your mug.
That's great.
And Copper died. But
I'm sorry.
yeah, I know, and that's kind of sad. But and that's actually a true story. There was a lady in my district who would call me yearly and send me notes from the holidays and pictures of her dog. And it's that relationship, right? I mean, and it's a highly personalized touch. This is not blasting an email to 10,000 people.
It doesn't work.
It just doesn't work that way. And I don't know how you
talks about on that topic too, real quick. Reviews.
Yes.
How are you doing about getting reviews?
I'm doing okay. I could probably, it's a struggle always.
Tough, yeah.
You ask, and
but it's the same thing.
Yeah, but it's important. Yeah. Critical.
And you want to ask directly, and
right.
how was this experience for you? And how was this experience for you? And they're like, oh man, it was fantastic. Well,
right.
Do you mind giving me a review?
Right. I don't do that as much as I should. I mainly do it at the end of a case.
Yeah,
but I need
to do more.
I need to start doing it
even
at the
for
beginning.
People that you don't take their cases.
Right.
And you spend an hour talking to them about why they don't have a case. A lot of times you're doing them a favor by telling them that.
Yeah.
You're like, you can go talk to other lawyers. Maybe you should, but I don't think that you do. And sometimes they can be like, wow, thanks a lot. You just saved me a lot of time. And right?
Yes.
So then you're saying, I'm not charging you anything for this.
Right.
But if you wouldn't mind giving me a review, know, it's a form of currency these days, and that'd be great.
Yeah.
So
no,
do that.
I think, and GLM's great about kind of giving you that permission, like explaining you how you can make a connection and then make that ask in a way that's not like, I don't need you to say I'm the best lawyer in the world. Like, that's not what this is about. It's just that we had a conversation and we provided some value, right? Whatever that is. So yeah, that's a huge, and we are hearing over and over how important those are, to increasing your visibility and just adding that comfort level for people to convert. So you've
got 2 young children.
Yeah.
What are they? They're like just a year, right?
3 and 6 now.
3 and 6. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Time flies. So you got the young kids, and you're the mayor tempo.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, temporary mayor of Kansas City. That's not probably a easy job.
No.
That's funny. You kind of blinked when you said that. Yeah. No, it's not.
No, it's.
And you're also a full-time solo attorney.
Yeah.
Right, running your own firm. So you're a busy guy.
I am.
So what's next for you?
I want to grow my business, and I don't know. I've got this role at the city for 4 more years, and we'll see how that plays out. I have no ambition.
You don't have any
plan.
Political.
No one's. Yeah, I mean, people have asked me to consider this or that, and I'm honestly, I have no grand plan. If anything, I mean, that's what I think GLM's been so cool about, is it gives you real clarity as to what's important to you. And for me, it's like, I like giving back. There's a lot of ways to give back. You don't have to be in politics to give back. And I like professional growth and continuing to learn. That's really important to me. But probably on top of all that, it's like family, right? And just making sure you're providing and giving them what they need to grow up. So my wife and we're both from big families, all of our parents and cousins, we're all in Kansas City. So it's just awesome. It's a great community. And so for me, it's just, those are kind of the three things that I'm excited about, and we'll see what happens. So. Well,
dude, these years, they only come around once with the kids.
Yeah.
And it's good that you have that attitude about it, because you'll look back and say, wow, I'm so glad that I spent more time with them and didn't, chase some egomaniacal career.
And I did a little bit of that right out of, that's what I think when you're young, right out of law school, and I'm like, I'm running the legislature, I'm going to run up that hill. Yeah. And then you start running it up, and you're like watching everybody else and what that life looks like, and you're like, no,
thank you.
You got to give yourself permission to change course, and so for me, it's like it's been an evolution. But I mean, honestly, hooking up with you guys with this has been like it has changed my life in a lot of different ways, and one of which is it really makes you focus on what you want, and so it's been great. I've been with you guys for a year, I guess, almost, more or less, and it's been awesome.
Well, we loved having you, and you're one of my favorites. I remember, it was the first month you added 60 pieces of content in 1 month.
Yeah, that might be. Yeah, I don't know. It was a lot. I think I did have 1 month in that.
And then
area.
you were feeling bad, you didn't do enough.
Right.
So everybody listen to that. They can't get one a month or one every 3 months. I mean, he's a busy guy, and he's in there adding good content, and it got you cases.
It did.
Right?
It did. Absolutely.
Even and you're a one-man guy, brand new domain.
Yeah.
Brand new firm. That you're even competing with some of those vanity keywords immediately.
Yep.
I couldn't believe it.
Yeah. No, and it was.
But this is all you doing. I mean.
Yeah, I've started now getting some help on the content.
Yeah.
Through some VAs and that sort of thing. But it is not. I mean, I would say 90% is still me. Yeah. And even if it's coming with some help, it's always me.
Yeah, it's got to be your tone. Yes.
100% editing and making sure I like it. Because I've been all about quality. I don't want to be, and that's why, again, I like you guys, because you're about quality. It's I don't want a place where people go and they're like, what is all this gobbledygook? I don't want to be sold. I want to be educated,
Right.
And that's what I want to provide to people when they come. So it's really key that we're actually providing that value, and it's really clear, that and we've had I've had people contact me so many times it's hard to count, and it's been only a short time, who have said, I've gone to so many other websites and I got on yours and I got absorbed into it all, and I just knew after watching videos, FAQs, blog posts, downloading your book, I just wanted to talk to you. I don't even know if you're the right lawyer for me. I just want to talk to you, And so, that's pretty awesome.
It's fantastic what you've been able to do. I mean, and this is the thing, is you've really rocket yourself up in a very short period of time.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's unusual. And I think I told you that in the very beginning. I'm like, I don't know what you're doing, but whatever you're doing, keep doing it. I mean,
I don't know either. I just don't want it to stop.
No, me neither. You're doing
great. If you ask me what it is, I'm like, I don't know.
You're just doing the content.
Just work.
You're just doing what it. There's no secret. There's no silver bullet. You're doing the hard work of the content. Like I said to everybody listening, you did 60 pieces. I mean, and you pretty much do anywhere from 15 plus. I don't think I've ever seen you do less.
Yeah, that's right.
I think you were seriously in a depressed state when we talked, and you were like, I only got 28 done.
right.
Something like that.
Right.
But you're also promoting it to your list, right?
Yep.
You're putting it out to your list and using your CRM and putting it out there, and it works. And it just goes to show everybody that's listening and watching this, Kevin is a one-man solo entrepreneur. A PI firm in Kansas City. It's not a small town.
No, there's a lot of big people spending a lot of money.
Yeah, and you could say, oh, well, he's the mayor. Well, he's a temporary mayor.
Well, and just so to be clear, I wasn't when I
Right.
went with you.
Right.
You know, that was
There's nothing to do
that was
with
like
it.
30 days ago.
Right, and
that
actually,
happened,
that's
so.
probably like affected in a negative way.
Yeah, if
like
anything,
taken away from
I'm going
the
to start getting
marketing
negative
side, right?
reviews here soon. So
Oh, no. Let's not hope not. Well, dude, you keep it up, and
All right,
thank you
man.
so much for everything.
Thanks a lot.
And I look forward to watching your political progress, because whatever I hear it from you, but you got the look.
Oh yeah,
You got the look. You know?
Right,
You're gonna see you the next
right,
president.
right.
What, 20, whenever that is, down the road.
Yeah,
I'll vote for you.
I don't know. We'll see.
I'll
We'll
do the
see.
website.
All right. Sounds good.
All right, Kevin. Good talking to you.
Thanks. Likewise. Thanks for having me.
Everybody, thank you. Tom Foster, The World of Marketing, with my good friend and client, Kevin McManus. Thanks, Kevin.
Thank you.
Adios.